So we're testing all the video camera setup for Daz's interview with Marianna Spring.
Hiya, it's Super Daz.
Well, Spring's utilising the propaganda technique of othering. She's trying to cast people as subhuman trolls, and by association applying the same dehumanising propaganda label to anyone who shares the concerns about official accounts of events. Othering is an applied psychological strategy widely used by authoritarian political regimes. Almost 2 million people stopped paying the BBC licence fee last year, so you would assume that's of 2021.
Do you want us both on the bench, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is that alright with you, Darren? Like
Sure, yeah, as long as I can, yeah.
So you do like...
you bring up one person and then a chair there?
Party pants.
My party pants?
Yeah.
These are my nice work trousers.
I'm sorry. I don't like going out trousers.
No!
Sorry.
Perfect.
Nice.
Got it?
Yep.
Perfect, good.
Thank you.
The only thing, Darren, are you going to have that laptop up the entire time, are you? Just because it's obviously kind of blocking a little bit.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not for me, it's to show Marianna. Have you got a...
Just because obviously Olivia's shot is, yeah.
So how high? And is this all your kit as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Darren, would you mind giving me a count to 10 just so I can check your levels?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very musical.
How does that sound? I'm used to doing that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can stick your... No.
Marianna,
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like you so rarely get to have actual paper.
Nobody reads them anymore, do they? Make sure the front page does the same thing as you guys, in case they don't open it. Headline, right? Nobody reads the rest of it.
Although actually, interestingly, we find quite a lot that audiences either engage with stuff super quickly or actually longer form stuff.
one more quick check-in from Mike, from Marianna, please.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're good.
That didn't
And
really
Darren?
Hello there, how are you doing? It's been a very rainy day here in Leek, but we're getting ready for the media handicap
What's the media handicap?
of today's horse race. I'm sorry, I'm not that quick and witty. Otherwise I'd be on stage doing comedy, not music.
It's so unusual to have 2 sets of kit.
Well, it's two interviews at once
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I am rolling on both of these. Are you rolling, Phil?
Yeah, we're all good.
Alright, I'm just going to give us a clap first.
Great, ready. Do you want me to start or do you want to start? What would you prefer?
Well, I'll ask the first question.
Yeah, go
so,
for it.
how you doing, Marianna Spring? Thanks for coming down to interview with us today for the Light Paper.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
a
you.
piece of serious investigative journalism. If you're true to your word, you would look at that.
Yeah, obviously I always look at everything people give me, and I always read it and interrogate it, so I will.
It's
Thank
quite scary.
What are you working on?
It was just if you're hungry, there's the money that we didn't spend on the buffet.
Oh, I feel bad that you paid for it. We're happy to pay for the location.
We didn't. No, it's okay.
Because we definitely can. We can pay for it from our budget.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's not expensive.
Oh, fine.
All I'm saying is we've got free food.
Yeah.
So if you want to eat downstairs, just tell them.
We have got to get the train, otherwise we have to get the expensive.
Oh, you're on the train?
Yeah, we're getting. Phil's driving back to Manchester.
Oh, I see, right.
We're getting the train.
Oh, okay.
If you don't get it before rush hour, you have to pay that really expensive one, or then you have to get the late one.
Yeah.
And we quite want to not do that.
The BBC can afford it.
What a late? No, but we're really careful about money actually. Yeah,
It's so expensive. It's so expensive.
And this will be it will be coming out in June.
Okay.
The podcast.
Are you?
We'll let you know when it's. Yeah, we'll let you know.
Is it just the podcast then? Or?
So it will be the 10-part podcast series, which is for Radio 4 and BBC Sounds. And then there's a digidoc that Olivia's editing that's for BBC iPlayer, yeah. And then there'll also be like a write-up that I do for online.
Okay.
And various other bits and pieces.
Well.
When's your next edition of The Light? Is it this month?
No, we've just published, so we'll go up next month.
Next month.
Middle of June sometime.
Yeah.
So are you going to present it as
So-
light?
I was going to say, if you give us an address, we'll send you one. I'm sure you've got some subscriber in the office, right?
Yeah, well,
Somebody
I'd like
got
to
subscription?
subscribe.
Eh?
I don't know if we have a like subscriber at the BBC, but we definitely would like a copy.
Yeah,
so
so if you send us an address, we'll send it to
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So, from the question, I think you're going to present it as the white paper as incited violence.
No, I think the thing that I'm interested in, which I was asking, is there are, I don't want to repeat the interview again, but there are examples of people who have promoted hateful ideas or who have promoted anti-Semitism or who have incited violence in other ways who are featured, and it's important when you're doing an accountability interview to ask those questions, because ultimately some of the research that we'd seen suggested that there are some people who think violence is justified, and that's an important question for us to interrogate. But obviously we've talked about a whole range of different things, so we're not just going to focus on one particular thing. We'll focus on various things that we chatted about. But what we're understanding ultimately throughout the podcast is how the movement has evolved and changed since the pandemic, because for a lot of people they're quite surprised that the light still exists, or that the movement still exists, or that rallies still happen, and so it's about understanding why that is still happening and the consequences of it.
What are we protesting against now?
Yeah, essentially. People are interested in why are people protesting in their towns, why is this happening, the impact it's having on them, and the impact that it does have on just that's kind of how it works, really, just understanding.
It's really interesting, isn't it, from a kind of point of view when there's not that many local newspapers that are doing that well, or papers that are doing that well.
And then yours is one that is, it's just really interesting.
It might be because the people that support it paid for it, so we can do it free at the other end.
Yeah.
Although, you'd say the Metro.
Because £20,000 is expensive.
Metro, not sure. It's not a small business, but the Metro, it's got plenty of advertisers. You'd say that's still been a very successful pay because it's given away free.
Right, yeah, that's what you mean, yeah.
So I was interested. The answer might be no, and don't know if it is. But I wondered whether any of your, because I find the advertising really interesting, and also that I imagine you have kind of quite committed advertisers, like people who advertise like every month or whatever. Yeah. And I wondered whether any of them might be up for speaking to us, because it's quite interesting that that's where. I don't know that they choose a paper to advertise there. The answer, I don't know whether you think any of them might be interested in talking to us. Just get in touch with us. Yeah.
I wouldn't ring round saying don't speak to you.
No. It's more that
you might find one or two who would talk, especially if they know that we've taught you.
And is there, and the Light Recruit as well? So I looked at that. Is that run by you guys as well?
No.
Is that run by someone else?
It's a separate
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So would the people behind that be interested in talking? Do you think? Or doubt it?
They're not really. And then yellow down. I think they're recruited.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they want to obviously recruit.
Within a kind of type of. Yeah.
And obviously there are employees like that as well. So.
Yeah.
So at least they're not going to get died
It's so fascinating because that's like a whole ecosystem.
That's like a whole,
We didn't get to chat about it because you mentioned alternative. Obviously, we talk about solutions. And obviously, you have to pivot it to the violence and all the rest of it. But part of it is, alternative systems, if you like.
I actually that though.
It's just doing things outside of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You kind of said that though. You did say that.
Okay. There's bands, there's events, there's
the festival.
Yeah, there's festivals. You know what I mean? And that will probably grow because people. Yeah.
For example.
Yeah, there's t-shirts. Yeah. I actually make my money.
I said, if you wear my hoodie, it says exempt from bullshit. Receipt, no.
Do people comment? Occasionally, yeah.
I can't remember what I was wearing. And I went to Tesco's. So it was early on in the lockdown, so it was a bit tense, and it was just like, yeah, you got it, man! Real, there's a real brotherhood spirit about people who've woke up, because your guys' reach and influence, and you're part of a bigger ecosystem, is incredible. And until you go, I realise that is all complete propaganda information, they're going to believe what you tell them. That's why I'm so concerned. That's why everything you say, you're doing, the disinformation that you put out may cause harms. We are, obviously concerned that the disinformation you guys are putting out causing harms, which is why we exist. But it's nice that we can actually have a civil conversation about it.
Yeah, I always like having a conversation. I think it's really important. I was just going to ask about the t-shirt. Do you find are they popular, the t-shirts?
That one is.
Yeah. Do people,
The
is that fun?
bullshit one's gone on to mugs and all sorts.
Oh,
of
Has
stuff.
it?
Oh, there's a few.
I can imagine people buying exempt from bullshit. I feel like everyone would buy that in some different way.
That was mine, that one.
Was
Oh,
it?
Yeah, we phoned Ross, didn't we?
That's a good idea.
Entrepreneurship. See, you can even let them know what slogan you want.
Yeah. And does that help fund the paper? Do you use some of that? The merch, yeah, exactly.
It funds me. We don't sell any of the merch.
Is it your main job and then the music?
Yeah, I've got several. Yeah, just online things, but yeah, all to do with truth. Now, apart from the guitar strings, I have a guitar
Which is
string.
your, yeah.
Oh yeah. Because everything I forgot to ask, which I imagine is the case, but when you were saying, it can cost 20 grand to make the paper or whatever, do you ever profit from the paper, or is it that you kind of just make enough to keep it?
Yeah, whatever. Either if we do make an excess, it will go on window stickers and bags and and what have you.
Yeah. So it's not really like your salary.
No,
No.
it gets adjusted obviously each month, so we can do the maximum amount of paper.
Yeah,
because we want the maximum amount of truth out there.
And because I've seen the circuit. Sorry, I know I'm asking questions, but these are more like fact for our script. These are like factual
So
questions.
if we frame it.
So we frame it right, so I don't want to get it wrong. In terms of like the number of copies a month, because I'd seen I think 250,000 somewhere.
At peak, yeah.
At what is it now?
Oh, it can vary.
Yeah.
It can vary. It's well over 6 figures though.
Well over 6 figures.
Yeah.
And do you print them all? You're in control of the printing.
And then you distribute them type thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not.
I think what you mean
it doesn't go through shops or anything like that.
Well, it's not like you've got lots of different printers. It's like you.
Right, it's one printer, and then it gets
yeah.
distributed
Yeah.
to how many different warehouses? 30 different home store warehouses all over the country, and people get from there. So it's self-organised. Nobody organised. I didn't get back. You performed that. You know what I mean? It was just we're gonna do a paper, and everybody just went.
I don't want to forget that number.
Yeah, write it down. Just lastly as well with the kind of ecosystem. Did it start with the paper and then become like the gigs and the festival, or was it?
It's all kind of tied up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the parallel.
Yeah.
The
Things
coincidental
have been
parallel
sort of,
parallel
going on, building,
progressions.
building, and obviously different people do different things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
30 hubs.
And you said 6 figures. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that it's almost like protest movements read the light, and then kind of like everything feeds off each other a bit, and then you guys organise like rallies or organise as in not you guys, but as in the groups themselves.
Each
I know a lot
individual
of
takes on
people
the.
that are nothing to do with the movement, but they love the paper.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they love an
Yeah,
alternative,
so that's two.
alternative news.
We get a lot of emails.
And to make their own judgments. What Daz has been saying the whole time,
Yeah.
you know. The whole point of it is for people to be given different sources of information so they can go and find out the facts, the true facts, or as far to the truth as you can get, or near to the truth you can. Because let's face it, truth is very difficult to get to these days. You know?
Yeah.
So, but the
Yeah, so
idea-
it's interesting the people who are the readers. Yeah, like you've got the readers who are actually part of these movements and do go on marches, and then you've got the people who read it, who just kind of read it at home, like you say, who wouldn't necessarily.
One thing we didn't
Write that
cover,
down.
the difference now, and this is feedback from obviously distributors, in how the paper is accepted, how the paper is received compared to 2 years ago. So it's night and day. It's like it was 90% rejection. Now it's 90% acceptance. Now people come into the takeaways and whatever. Have you got any more? Have you got the latest one?
People
Look
actually
forward
asking
to it.
for it.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to be doing something that people actually want. And this is not, hopefully, you know, it's quite clear, whether you portray it that way, that this is not some, well, it's not a one-man organisation directing everything, because it couldn't happen in the truth movement. We're too into independence of freedom anyway. If I tried to start dictating things, everyone would just go, go and work for the BBC, will you? You know what I mean? It really is. It's incredible to me how this thing exists through a kind of just loose self-organisation.
Yeah.
There's nobody gets fired for not doing their job. They're just, okay, you don't want to do that, well, let's find somebody else to do it.
Whenever I do these kind of interviews, I always think that it would actually be a really positive and beneficial thing sometimes for like people to like spend the day with me at work, or to like see how the BBC works, because people don't actually like get to like come in and see like how it works, or what a meeting's like, or how people, I don't know, I just always think it's important for people to kind of understand like the process of understand the processes and how it works. But anyway, yeah, thank you, I really appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thank
Great.
you. Cheers. Thank you so
Have a
much.
safe journey.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
good. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
I've forgotten your name.
Emma.
Emma.
Good to meet you. Hi, Andy. Thanks.
Olivia.
Yes.
Phil.
Thanks so much.
Phil from Manchester.
Thank you for doing
From
the tour.
Manchester.
Whereabouts in Manchester are you?
Great. Just kind of like south, basically. Yeah.
South, basically.
How many times?
Timperley.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've done good. So I was telling Olivia about
Phil has been raving
yeah.
about Hampton Bridge the entire time we're here. He's the biggest fan.
God, I love it. Yeah. I've moved over to say
Right, let's get through this. Stuff in the car.
Yeah, have a nice lunch.
Oh, well, we will.
Bye guys. Bye-bye. Are you going to miss your train?
Me too. Got everything?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. That's quite pretty.
They're going to stitch him up royally. I was watching, they had one camera right in on his face, getting every single expression, you know. I know they work. It went well when you look at it as a whole, but it's not going to be shown as a whole. That's why I said they're going to show balance, and they're not. They're going to stitch him up royally, I tell you. I think.
The only way to do that is literally by chopping and editing it.
That's what they're going to do. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. From the questioning, I think you were going to present it as the light paper has incited violence.
No, I think the thing that I'm interested in, which I was asking, is, there are, I don't want to repeat the interview again, but obviously we've talked about a whole range of different things. So, we're not just going to focus on one particular thing. We'll focus on various things that we chatted about.
Okay.
Her name is Marianna Spring. Shilling for cash is her thing. In disinformation she finds inspiration. Her eyes light up and go ka-ching. I didn't write the words to this, by the way. It's a limerick found on YouTube, but let's do it again. Her name is Marianna Spring. Shilling for cash is her thing. In disinformation she finds inspiration. Her eyes light up and go ka-ching, ching, ching. Hang on a minute, so are you calling these people liars?
I have never, ever said that those people are liars.